Have you ever felt that somewhere, beyond the noise of this world, lies a truth so powerful that it could awaken every hidden corner of your soul? What if I told you that Jesus himself left behind secret words, divine frequencies meant only for those who were ready to see beyond illusion? These were not mere teachings for the crowd. They were codes, celestial keys that open invisible doors inside the human spirit. Words that carry the vibration of heaven itself. Words that, when spoken with intention, realign your entire being with the divine source. Tonight, you are not here by coincidence. Something or someone brought you here. Your soul recognized this call long before you pressed play. Because these 3 words you are about to receive were never meant for the many, but for the few. For those who feel the inner flame of remembrance burning even when the world grows cold. When Jesus walked the earth, he didn't just teach, he transmitted. His words carried a frequency, an energy, a code. Those who heard it with their hearts felt their consciousness expand, their perception shift, their very essence begin to awaken. And tonight, that same transmission will reach you. As you listen, I want you to breathe deeply and allow your spirit to remember. Remember that you are not here to learn. You are here to reawaken. These words are ancient, but their power is eternal. They transcend language, time, and doctrine, for they were born from the living voice of God. And when you hear them, truly hear them, something sacred inside you will stir. A vibration, a light, a whisper that says, "I've known this before." That moment is your awakening. Stay with me until the very end, because what is coming next could alter your spiritual frequency forever. But before we begin this sacred revelation, I want you to do something symbolic, something that aligns your energy with the flow of divine intention. Tap the like button, because every act of light sends a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive truth. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because those who walk together in Gnosis amplify each other's awakening. And comment 99 below, not as a number, but as a declaration that your old self has ended and the divine cycle within you is complete. 9 is the number of spiritual birth, and tonight, that rebirth begins. To truly understand these words, you must strip away every image of Jesus that the world has painted for you. The Gnostic Christ was not confined to temples, nor bound by religion. He was a living current of divine consciousness, a bridge between heaven and the human heart. When he spoke, his voice carried frequencies that bypassed the intellect and reached directly into the soul. That is why many heard him, but only a few understood. Because his words were never meant to fill the mind. They were meant to ignite remembrance. Gnosis is not information. It is recognition. The moment when something ancient within you whispers, "I have known this before." Jesus spoke in layers. To the crowds, he gave stories. But to the awakened, he gave codes, hidden in plain sight, wrapped in symbols, carried by vibration. Each parable concealed a door, and only those who had the eyes to see could walk through it. The Gnostic texts tell us that when Jesus spoke to his disciples in secret, he wasn't merely teaching, he was transmitting divine energy, initiating them into the inner architecture of the kingdom. These mysteries were not meant to be believed. They were meant to be activated. Every phrase, every silence, every breath contained light. And when that light entered the soul of one who was ready, something awakened. A frequency, a vision, a knowing that no man could take away. That same current flows through this very moment. The spirit that spoke through him then still speaks through vibration now. Every word you're hearing carries a spark of that original flame, waiting to ignite your remembrance. The Gnostic Christ did not come to create followers. He came to awaken mirrors, to remind humanity that the divine is not something to worship outside, but something to awaken within. His message was not bow before me, but rise with me. And this is the secret the world was never ready for, that the light of Christ was never meant to be contained in one body, one book, or one religion. It was meant to multiply, to expand, to live within those who dared to awaken. You, who are watching this right now, are part of that continuation. You are not simply listening, you are remembering. The same spirit that hovered over the waters now hovers within you, waiting to speak through you as it once spoke through him. This is the living Christ, the Gnostic Christ, the vibration of truth that transforms the seeker into vessel of divine awareness. And once you feel it, you can never return to sleep. Something irreversible begins. The dissolving of illusion, the burning away of limitation, the rebirth of perception. The more you listen, the more the veil thins, and soon The words you are about to hear will no longer sound like teachings. They will sound like home. But before you can receive them, one more revelation must unfold. A truth that will challenge everything you've ever been told about divine knowledge. Stay with me, because what comes next is not just understanding, it's activation. The first sacred word revealed by Jesus to those who were ready to awaken was aletheia, the word of truth. Not the fragile truth of human judgment, nor the limited truth born of perception and memory, but the absolute truth, the divine pulse that existed before creation itself. When Jesus spoke aletheia, he wasn't describing something external. He was summoning the vibration of pure reality, the essence that burns away illusion. In the ancient language of light, aletheia meant the unveiling, the lifting of the veil that hides the eternal from mortal eyes. It is not a word of the tongue, it is a key of the soul, and only those whose hearts are uncloaked can receive its resonance. When you pronounce aletheia, your breath becomes sacred fire. It moves through the layers of your being, dissolving what is false, what is heavy, what has kept you blind to the infinite. It is not a prayer, it is an alignment. You are not asking for truth, you are stepping into it. The world teaches that truth is a matter of perspective, but divine truth does not bend to perception. It simply is, eternal, unchanging. Like a beam of light piercing through fog, it exposes everything that hides in shadow. That is why so many fear it, because aletheia does not comfort the ego. It liberates the soul. The moment you whisper it, your energy begins to shift. Something ancient recognizes the sound, like a bell that awakens memory from another lifetime. You might feel warmth in your chest, a stirring behind your eyes, or a sense of space expanding around you. That is not imagination. That is the frequency of truth rearranging the architecture of your being. In that vibration, lies cannot survive. Masks fall. The noise of the world fades, and what remains is clarity, not of thought, but of knowing. Aletheia is not about gathering answers. It is about dissolving questions until only illumination remains. It does not reveal what you want to see. It reveals what is. The truth about your nature. The truth about the divine. The truth about the illusions you once called reality. Jesus gave this word first because truth is the foundation of awakening. Without it, wisdom becomes confusion and spirit becomes imitation. The Gnostic Christ knew that the path to the kingdom begins not with belief, but with unveiling. Aletheia is that unveiling. It strips away what was never you, layer by layer, until only light remains. Tonight, when you whisper it, imagine the sound traveling upward through your spine, illuminating every hidden place within you. See the false dissolve like mist under sunlight. Feel your consciousness expanding beyond time, beyond identity. You are not simply speaking a word. You are invoking a vibration that was once spoken at the dawn of creation, when God said, "Let there be light." For aletheia and light are one and the same. The truth is not cold or distant. It is warm, alive, and fiercely loving. It seeks not to punish but to purify, to remove everything that separates you from the memory of what you truly are. And as you align with this sacred frequency, you begin to perceive that every challenge, every heartbreak, every shadow in your life was only a veil, a mirror leading you back to the truth. The illusion collapses, and what stands revealed is divine simplicity, that you were never lost. You were only asleep. Breathe now. Whisper aletheia 3 times, letting each syllable descend deeper into your being. Feel it moving through you like holy fire, gentle, radiant, undeniable. This is the first gate of the Gnosis, the moment when sight returns to the soul, and as you open your eyes again, something will feel different. You will sense that the world is not what it was a moment ago, because you are not who you were. The light of aletheia has already begun to awaken within you. And what it will reveal next will change everything. The second sacred word whispered by the Christ of light is Sophia, divine wisdom incarnate. But do not mistake this for intellect, logic, or mental brilliance. Sophia is not the knowledge of books. She is the living intelligence that moves through creation itself, the heartbeat of God translated into understanding. When you speak her name, you are not calling upon something external. You are awakening a consciousness that has been dormant within you since the beginning of time. Sophia is the divine current that turns chaos into order, confusion into clarity, and pain into purpose. She is the luminous bridge between knowing and being. The ancients spoke of her as the Holy Spirit in motion, the feminine expression of God's mind, the one who danced beside the Creator when the universe was born, whispering, "Let there be light," and meaning, When Jesus revealed Sophia to the chosen ones, he was not teaching philosophy. He was giving them the lens of divine perception. Because wisdom is not knowing what to do, but understanding why it matters in the divine pattern. Sophia allows you to see through the eyes of heaven, to recognize the hidden perfection in what your human self once called chaos. When you whisper her name, your soul begins to interpret life differently. You start noticing divine architecture in every coincidence, sacred timing in every delay, and messages in every silence. Where the mind once saw obstacles, Sophia reveals initiations. Where the ego saw endings, she shows transformation. Her vibration is subtle, soft, but unstoppable. It enters like a whisper and ends like thunder. When you speak Sophia, the static of confusion begins to fade. Your inner world quiets, and in that stillness, a voice emerges, not loud, but unmistakably clear. It says you already know. Because Sophia doesn't give you new information. She awakens the ancient knowing buried beneath layers of noise and fear. She reconnects you with the wisdom of your higher self, the part of you that was never lost, never broken, never afraid. Try this. Close your eyes, breathe in slowly, and say her name, Sophia. Feel it travel through your mind like a ray of golden light. Visualize that light wrapping around your thoughts, weaving understanding through confusion, bringing warmth where there was doubt. You'll begin to sense alignment, as if everything that once seemed random now carries divine meaning. The more you invoke her, the sharper your spiritual sight becomes. You'll start feeling when to move and when to wait, to speak, and when silence holds greater power. That's how Sophia works, not through noise, but through inner resonance. The Gnostic texts say that Sophia fell from the heavens into matter to awaken wisdom within humanity. She is the spark in every soul calling us to remember that we are not mere observers of divine creation. We are participants in it. Every experience you've lived, every heartbreak, every triumph, was Sophia speaking to you through experience, shaping you into a vessel of insight. That's why her wisdom is not cold or distant. It's intimate, emotional, and deeply human. As her energy begins to move within you, you may notice the subtle shift. Thoughts become calmer, choices feel guided, and coincidences begin to form patterns. That's not imagination. That's Sophia weaving divine order through your life. Once her current starts flowing, resistance becomes futile, because her purpose is to align you with truth, not comfort. She will dismantle illusions, dissolve confusion, and place you exactly where your spirit needs to be. And as this realization anchors within you, something extraordinary happens. Aletheia, the truth you discovered before, begins to harmonize with Sophia, the wisdom you are now awakening. Truth without wisdom is blinding. Wisdom without truth is hollow. But when they unite, consciousness becomes luminous. You begin to see. Keep listening. Because the next word Jesus revealed completes the Trinity. It is the force that animates truth and wisdom, the divine breath that turns awakening into transformation. And once you hear it, nothing within you will ever sleep again. The third and final word, the crown of the sacred Trinity, is pneuma, the divine breath. It is not merely a word, it is the movement of God Himself. Pneuma is the invisible current that carried life into dust and turned silence into creation. It is the breath that spoke galaxies into motion, the whisper that lit the stars, the pulse that sustains every heartbeat in the universe. When Jesus revealed this final word to the chosen ones, He wasn't giving them another concept. He was giving them direct communion with the living Spirit. Truth gives direction. Wisdom gives understanding. But only the Spirit gives life. Without pneuma, truth remains distant, and wisdom remains dormant. It is the breath that animates both, the bridge between knowing and becoming. When you breathe consciously with intention, you are not just taking in air. You are participating in the same sacred rhythm that sustains creation. Pneuma is that rhythm. It is the inhale of the divine through your body, and the exhale of your soul back to heaven. Every breath is a prayer, every exhale a release, every inhale an invitation for Spirit to dwell within you more fully. This is why Jesus breathed upon His disciples and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." He wasn't speaking symbolically. He was transmitting energy, the vibration of pneuma itself. When you whisper this word, do not do it with your mouth alone. Let your entire being say it. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and as you exhale, whisper, pneuma. Feel the air tremble between your lips like a sacred wind. Imagine it flowing into your lungs, down to your heart, then spreading outward like waves of golden light. With every repetition, you'll notice something. A subtle expansion, a dissolving of heaviness, a warmth that fills the chest and radiates through the skin. That is not imagination, that is spirit entering form. Pneuma does not visit, it awakens. It reminds you that the breath within you and the breath of God are one and the same. In the language of light, pneuma means the living essence that moves. It is the unseen current behind every miracle, every revelation, every act of love. When the Spirit breathes through you, your words gain power, your thoughts gain light, and your presence becomes magnetic. You no longer just believe in divinity, you embody it. That is the secret the ancient disciples guarded, that through pneuma, the Christ does not remain in history. He becomes alive within you. Every inhale becomes a resurrection, every exhale a surrender. Every heartbeat echoes, I and the Father are one. But pneuma is not a gentle visitor. It transforms. The more you allow it to move through you, the more it begins to cleanse what cannot remain. Old patterns, fears, and attachments rise to the surface, not to harm you, but to be released. The Spirit clears what truth exposed and wisdom revealed. You may feel tears, peace, or a rush of energy. Each is a sign that the living breath of Christ is restoring balance to your inner temple. For pneuma's purpose is to unify what was divided, body and spirit, thought and heart, heaven and earth. And here lies the greatest mystery. Pneuma is not only God's breath entering you, it is also your breath returning to God. The moment you exhale, heaven breathes you back in. There is no separation. You are the inhalation of the divine. When you truly understand this, prayer ceases to be words, it becomes being. The breath itself becomes worship, silence becomes communion, and every moment becomes sacred. Whisper pneuma now, slowly. Feel it vibrate through your bones. It carries the sound of creation itself, soft yet infinite. With each breath, the divine energy within you amplifies, reconnecting your soul with the eternal flow that sustains all life. Pneuma is the awakening of pure presence, the moment when truth and wisdom merge and become alive. And as you continue to breathe, you may notice something miraculous. The atmosphere around you shifting, your thoughts slowing, your heart synchronizing with a rhythm far greater than your own. This is not just meditation, it is metamorphosis. You are being rewritten from within by the same Spirit that hovered over the waters at the dawn of time. And just when you think you understand what's happening, pneuma reveals its final secret, one that will complete your transformation and lead you to the revelation your soul has been waiting for since the beginning of its existence. Stay, because what is about to be revealed next transcends everything you thought you knew about awakening. And now the breath slows. The room feels different. The light around you isn't just light anymore. It's alive, pulsing, aware of your awareness. Everything you've heard, everything you've felt until this moment has been leading you here, to this revelation. The three words were never merely sounds or symbols. They were blueprints, divine architecture designed to awaken what had been sleeping within you since before you were born. Aletheia unveiled the truth that your soul had forgotten. Sophia aligned you with the wisdom of heaven.
And pneuma, the living breath, made them one, transforming knowledge into experience, sound into spirit, you into light. Listen closely now. This is not a message about Jesus.
This is Jesus, the Christ consciousness awakening inside you, speaking through your own breath, reminding you that you were never separate from the source. You were never wandering. You were being prepared. Every loss, every silence, every unanswered prayer was the training ground for your remembrance. The truth was never lost. It was waiting for your vibration to rise high enough to hear it. Feel that? That trembling in your chest? That's not emotion, that's recognition. Your spirit remembering he veil between heaven and earth is paper thin in this very instant. You are breathing the same divine current that moved through the disciples in secret chambers, that shaped worlds and parted seas. And now, it flows through you. This is the moment where belief dissolves into knowing, where the sacred becomes personal. You are no longer just listening to the message. You are the message. The Word made flesh again, walking, breathing, shining through your existence. But hear this, awakening is not an ending. It's an ignition. The world around you is still asleep, still waiting for light bearers to rise. That's why you are here. You are not chosen to escape. You are chosen to awaken and illuminate others. Aletheia, Sophia, pneuma, truth, wisdom, spirit, are now woven into your essence. Every breath you take carries their frequency. Every word you speak echoes the same vibration that once created stars. Close your eyes, inhale, and feel the universe breathing with you. The Christ light within you is expanding, reaching beyond the limits of language, of fear, of mortality. You are the living temple. You are the mirror of God's infinite consciousness. You are what heaven looks like when it remembers itself. And as this realization settles into your and want you to declare your awakening in the comments below. Type these words, I carry the breath of the divine within me, because you do. And when you proclaim it, heaven hears it. The moment you write it, something in your frequency will change, permanently. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of your transformation. Walk now as one who remembers. Speak as one who carries light. Breathe as one who knows they are eternal. You are not seeking the kingdom. You are the vessel through which the kingdom reveals itself. Truth has awakened. Wisdom has risen. Spirit has breathed. And now, you have become the revelation.